What's happening, friends? I'm back in the kitchen and I got a good one for you tonight. It's one of my favorites. I'm doing a pork chop Milanese with a lemon butter Orzo. It's going to be amazing. Let's get started. All right, I got lots of goodies for you tonight. I've got some beautiful pork chops here. I usually buy the whole pork chops, but the butterflied ones were on sale, so I saved a few bucks. That's the way it goes. I've got some seasoned breadcrumbs. I've got butter. We've got some Orzo here. Extra virgin olive oil. I've got my trusty wine bottle full of vegetable oil. I've got fresh Italian parsley, high quality Pecorino Romano cheese. I've got some salt and pepper, fresh lemons. I've got 3 scrambled eggs, and I've got some garden fresh arugula that we're going to be working with tonight. So this is what we're working with this evening, and let's go. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, I know I talked about having seasoned breadcrumbs, but I'm going to kind of kick them up a notch my own way. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of my Pecorino Romano. I'm going to grate some of that in there with our microplane. So the Pecorino is going to add a little bit more of a little more salt content and a really nice flavor that I just really enjoy. So we'll get a good amount of Pecorino in there. All right, then I'm going to take one of my lemons. I got some fresh lemons. I'm going to grate a little bit of the lemon zest in the into the breadcrumbs as well. It's going to add a nice, bright kind of citrus note. It's going to complement the arugula that we're going to finish this dish with really nicely. So I'm going to get the zest off of maybe about half the lemon, maybe a little bit more than half the lemon. All right, and we're going to mix that in. Just kind of toss it around here a little bit. Lastly, I'm going to add just a little more of my Italian parsley, like that. Just a good healthy pinch. All right, and we're going to let that sit off to the side just for a few minutes. We're going to prep our pork chops, okay? Like I told you, we got the butterflied pork chops today. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half. You see where this was the inside, right? This was the chop like that. And then it was butterflied this way and opened up, right? So I'm going to take the opened up side. I'm going to cut it right in half. And do the same thing with the other one. Okay? And now I want nice thin cutlets, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and butterfly it again. Well, I'm going to cut it right in half is what I'm going to do. So just like that, right? We go from the lean side to the fatty side and open it up. Beautiful. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut this right down there. Okay? You can leave a little bit of the fat on the end. I think fat is flavor. If you want to trim a little bit of it off, you can do that as well. I'll just leave some of it. Okay? We'll do this again over here. And then we'll repeat with the next one. All right, so we'll do all this and we'll be right back. All right, so I got my my pork chops cut up here. Now, I've got a Ziploc bag. I've got my meat mallet. And I'm going to go ahead and prep these cutlets. We're going to get them a little bit thinner. All right, we're going to pound them out. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our Ziploc bag. We're going to cut it on 2 sides. We'll cut it straight through across the bottom, right? And then straight up one side. And we kind of got this open envelope looking thing here. And we're going to pound these out lightly, okay? We're not going to go crazy, but we're going to pound them out lightly. It'll make the cooking process faster. It'll open them up, give them more surface area, and just makes a better end product, right? So we'll just go ahead and fold this over. I'm going to work with the lightly spiked side, and I'm going to work with the flat side, okay? First, I'm going to first start with the lightly spiked side, and I'm just going to tap it, right? You'll notice I put a towel down. I put a towel down. I don't want the neighbors thinking we got a construction project going on here. This does dampen the sound a little bit. So just pound it out just a little bit. Like that. And if you want to just finish it off with the flat side, you can do that as well. We'll flip it over. Give it another little tap. flat side. And that's it. You can see it's thinned out quite a bit, right? A little bit bigger than it was before. You can see them side by side. And I'm going to repeat with the rest of them. All right, we're back. I got my pork chops beautifully thinned out. I'm going to season them a little bit with some salt and pepper, right? Not too much, but we'll get a nice little bit of salt and pepper on here. Just like that. A little bit of pepper. And we're ready to roll. So my pan's heating over here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of my vegetable oil in. So what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to coat the bottom of the pan with just a little bit more than that. A little bit deeper than just a coating. Because we're sauteing here, right? We're not deep frying. You can see I got my pasta water going there. That's about ready. Salted pasta water for the orzo. And now we're going to heat this oil for maybe just a couple seconds. It should get hot pretty quick. And we'll be ready to go there. So actually what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my orzo in while we're waiting for this to come up. So we'll just go ahead and dump our orzo right in there. We'll give it a quick stir. And we'll let that go. All right. We're using grandma's spoon. This thing's older than I am. This was my grandmother's. Everything tastes better when you're using old kitchen equipment. All right, our oil looks like it's getting pretty hot. So a couple different ways you can test it. You can put a little fleck of water in there if you want, and if it pops, you know it's hot. You can just take a little bit of parsley or pretty much anything. And it looks like we got another second. It's not really sizzling and bubbling quite yet. So we'll give it just another second here. Give our pasta a quick stir. And we'll be ready to go here very shortly. Give me just a second. We'll be right back. All right. We should be pretty hot here. We're ready to go now for sure. So we're going to take our pork chops. We're going to go ahead and dip it in the egg. Okay. Some people will tell you to dip it in flour first and then egg and then bread. I don't think it's necessary. So we'll go ahead and make sure we get a nice coating on here with some breadcrumbs, the seasoned breadcrumbs. And guys, these are only going to take about a minute, right? They're going to cook super fast. They're really thin. I've got a plate here that I've already got lined with paper towels for our cooked chops. And we're going to go quick here, okay? We're going to get this first one dropped in. Yeah. This is not going to take long at all. Get a little more salt and pepper on this here. We missed a spot. And we're going to go. We don't want too much egg, right? We'll just get some of that off there, just a thin coating. Excuse me, to help the breadcrumbs stick. Pat it down, make sure it's nice and coated. And by the time we get the second one in, the first one's ready to flip. Okay, we can even turn this down just a little bit. Right now I'm cooking at about 6.5 out of 10. All right, we're gonna do that. This one will be ready to go here in just a second. Just a few seconds, they're so thin. Beautiful, it's gonna be beautiful. There we go. This one's ready to go. We're going to stand by. He's on deck. I'm going to actually take my cooked ones out with a different fork. All right, we got about, there, that's done. Just that fast. Guys, these are seriously about a 1/16 of an inch thick. All right, so they are going to cook super quick. And I'll get all these done up and I'll be right back for you. All right, we're back. We're just about done with our cutlets here, our pork chops. And so I'm going to finish this one off, okay? There we go. we're all done there. Now, there's a little snack that the kids really enjoy. And you can do it with, you know, if you're doing the pork chops or if you're doing chicken cutlets or whatever. You're going to have some leftover breadcrumbs, some leftover egg, right? So you put the breadcrumbs in the egg. And just kind of stir it up. And you want like almost like I'll show you, like a thick kind of thing. So we'll mix this up here until we get this certain consistency. Maybe just a little bit more breadcrumb. And then it almost comes out like a pancake, but it's super yummy. If I'm doing chicken cutlets, sometimes I'll put tiny little bits of chicken in there as well. And we're gonna hand form a little pancake out of it. Of course, we wash our hands first, right? Get a little thing here going, nice and thin, and go right in the oil. And we'll just let that cook for a minute or so on each side. And we'll be right back. All right, while this finishes up, our orzo's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. I'm gonna strain it real quick. And I'm going to return it to the pan and leave it off the heat for a minute. We're going to flip this real quick here. Nice golden brown. And we're going to start prepping our arugula to go over the top of the chops. Okay? This all needs to happen pretty quickly. We don't want anything to go too cold. I've got a little strainer here. I'm going to take my my arugula. I'm going to put just a little bit of lemon. Fresh lemon juice on top. About half of a lemon here. You can always add more later if you like. I'm going to add just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. For this here, I'm probably going to do about 2 tablespoons, maybe just a smidge more. All right, and then we're just going to take a couple of forks and we're going to mix it just a bit. All right, and that's it. Just lemon and olive oil here on the arugula. We got plenty of salt in the dish. Arugula is peppery enough on its own, so we don't even need that to be seasoned up too much. Oh, little escapee there. All right, so I got my, this is finishing up. I've got my orzo here. I'm going to add a little bit of butter to it. I started, don't do that. I started with a cup of orzo, so the finished product is about 3 cups. I'm going to add about maybe 2/3, no, less than 2/3, maybe about half a stick of butter to that. I do have the heat off. This is just residual heat, kind of melting that butter in. Bloopers happen, folks. If the big chefs say they don't, they're lying. They're just better at editing than I am. All right, we're going to take this out here. Little paper towel action down there to soak it up. Take the pan off the heat, and we're going to set that off to the side. All right, our orzo, that's off, everything's off, we're just kind of melting in. Our orzo, we're just going to go ahead and let this butter melt in. Okay. We're in the home stretch here now. We're going to take a lemon, another fresh lemon over here. We're going to take some of the zest and just grate that right in. Nope. the zest of, again, about half a lemon, maybe a little more. Okay. We're going to take our Pecorino Romano, put a little bit in. This is going to add a beautiful creamy texture. A little bit of salt content again. Lots of beautiful flavors in there. And we're going to mix it up. That's perfect. All right, I'm gonna put just a little bit of my parsley in here with the pasta, just to give it a little color, just a little added depth of flavor. All right. Season it. We're gonna put just a little salt and pepper, not much. Beautiful. And it's time to go to the plate. So, got our plate here. And if you want to do a vegetable with this, you can. I like a nice garden salad, something simple, something fresh. We're going to put just a little bit of our orzo on there. We're going to get our pork chop set on top, nice and pretty. We'll do 2. Just like that. Okay. We're going to take our arugula. Give it one last little flip. Put some of the arugula right on top. Stack it up nice and high. It looks pretty. We're going to finish with just a little bit more of our Pecorino Romano. And a little bit of lemon zest. All right. Let's see if I can help you see this a little bit better. Take this out of here.